I, Philip H. Hoff, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Governor of the State of Vermont. In a very real sense, I'm a natural outgrowth of Kennedy's election in this country in 1961. You'd be hard put to name anything that's happened from that time to this time that did not have as its basis activity that we undertook in the 1960s.
I love Phil Hoff. I love Joan Hoff. I feel them in our presence here today.
I can say with assurance that the state colleges would not be what they are today without Phil Hoff's leadership. As a young Turk representative, he was influential in bringing the state colleges together as a corporation. As governor, he was influential in converting the three primarily teachers' colleges, that would be Johnson, Linden, and Castleton, into comprehensive undergraduate colleges. And he also was absolutely the leading force in creating the Vermont Student Assistance Corporation, which has done as much to help Vermonters be able to realize that they should go to a state college and actually afford to go to a state college. So Phil Hoff was not only instrumental in getting the state colleges to where they are today, but also helping thousands of students over the decades actually go to the state colleges.
The educational situation here in the state was an absolute tragedy.
It was a very different place in the Vermont State House at that time. Phil Hoff came in and he was in the minority and realized that he needed to not only advocate for progressive ideas, that he needed to learn how to actually work with others, make compromises when it was necessary to do so, build coalitions, and he was able to do that. And it was that kind of leadership that, together with other young Turks in the legislature, led to the creation of the Vermont State Colleges as a public corporation.
Well, it was very clear to me that if our young people in Vermont were going to advance, then they should be, the education at the highest level should be made available to them. I saw it as a continuation of the existing educational program in Vermont, and I believe that it's worked out well.
I used to try to convince Governor Hoff that education in Vermont was great. And he would say, yes, it's great, but it can be better. And it can always be better.
In order to achieve that level of education and thereby contribution to the state, you had to do something about these colleges. And not much had been done, but we went after it. And I've always felt it was the right thing to do.
You know, such a transformational public leader in Vermont, having done so much for education, and particularly higher education, including the Vermont State Colleges, probably wouldn't be here without Governor Hoff. So we were all honored to be able to build Hoff Hall and to dedicate Hoff Hall with Governor Hoff and Joan a few years ago.
He basically did so many things for so many people. And he had an object of, it's not me, it's not the position, it's the fact that I've got to get young people together and they've got to help me.
Phil Hoff was in the state senate at that time, sitting directly in front of me. And I don't think he ever knew it, but he actually became a father figure for me.
In my career, now in my 42nd year, having so many interactions with him that every time I walk away from a conversation with Governor Hoff and Joan as well, I feel inspired.
And will therein do equal right and justice to all men, to the best of my judgment and ability, according to law, so help me God.